hello and welcome to the Pastor's Study. Agur is writing for us in Proverbs chapter 30, and he's come to a section of 4 things. He says, these 4 things, although they are small, they are extremely wise. He says, look at the ant. He says, they're not strong like a person, and yet they prepare their food in the summer. They prepare for the winter. Tiny little ant, knowing to store up and get ready for the winter. He says, the Sheaphon, this thing that, described as a furry little animal. This tiny little thing. He says, they're not mighty, and yet they build their houses among rocks. We have a hard time removing large boulders. We have invented dynamite and other forms of explosive and developed powerful equipment to move and destroy and break up rocks. And yet here's this tiny little creature building its home among the rocks. He says, a locust. He says, they don't have a king, and yet they go out in ranks. There's an order to how they work. There's a system of how they do things. The lizard, he says, you can hold it in your hand, and yet it can live in the home of a king. Tiny little things, small things, and yet mighty and powerful and able to do great things. You might think you are small or inconsequential. You're not important. You're not the president. You're not a senator, or you're not some well-known business individual. But do not let the smallness of who you are, of how you're known in a community, do not let that small little thing get you down. Because just as God can use a lizard in the home, place a lizard in the home of a king, he can use you in a mighty way. Your sharing of the faith can lead someone to know Jesus Christ in a very real and very personal way. So you might seem to you're insignificant, but you are not a small thing or an insignificant person to God. He can do great and mighty things through you. Till next time, goodbye, and may God bless.